So weaning is what we call it when we remove the foal from its mother. So they are weaned from mum and become their own independent animal. Roughly about 6 months. That can obviously change if there's indications we should leave them longer or do them earlier. Sometimes if a foal's getting a bit too heavy and doing too well, we might pull him off mum a bit earlier just to slow down his growth and make sure we don't get any problems from growing too fast. And there's a few little sort of things like that will trigger you to either leave them longer or do them earlier, but it's usually around that 6 month mark. There's a lot of different methods out there. The method that I learnt and use basically takes a week. So the foals have had a lot of handling before they start that week. Obviously they've been regularly trimmed and drenched and through the crush and handled. So it's not like you're starting from scratch. So usually a week in the barn is basically all we need to get them from mare and foal stage to ready to go out in a group of friends and begin that stage. The main part of that process is getting them to respond to a head collar. So they'll be head collared and learn to respond to pressure from a lead, to walk beside you and to respond to pressure and walk towards you, be caught, be head collared. They'll also be taught to pick their legs up and hold their legs in the farrier position and sort of rub down and patted down and desensitised, and just that basic groundwork handling that comes with the process. You keep an eye out for any kind of behavioural traits that you need to work on more if they show up. You might have a head shy horse or a naturally timid stressy horse that needs a bit more time spent with it. So you're trying to identify those things and work on those things. You'll also I really tend to concentrate on having them responding well to the head collar and walking well beside you, because obviously that's the next step to them getting into a sale is presenting them as a good walking horse. So that's a very important thing for us to focus on. And the main thing during the whole process is just to minimise their stress, just to make sure that they're not a ball of nerves and stress and all the complications that come along with a horse that's stressing. So it can be a stressful period, and it will be a stressful period, but our job is to try and minimise that as much as possible and make it a smooth process. They'll come into the barn and we'll use our round yard, our sand round yard for a lot of handling. And hand walking around our sort of yearling facility and the turnout yards there as they learn to sort of come in and out of the box and into yards and a bit of that process. As soon as mum's taken away, they then become their own entity. They become a weanling. So mum goes from a mare and foal unit into a dry mare or a pregnant mare, and the foal becomes a weanling.